Hi, I'm Megan. Welcome to Flavors and Fiction. Today I'm going to be Spike from My Little Pony and we're going to be making mini jewel cupcakes. Alright, most of you probably remember that the last time I tried to bake a jewel cake, I ate all my gems before it could be made. So this time I'm saving them until the very end as a topping so that I can resist them better. Anyway, let's start with the cake batter. First, make sure you've got all your ingredients ready. Now put in the 2/3 cup of sugar and the 2 eggs. And then mix them together until light and foamy. Add the butter and vanilla while you're mixing. Alright, that's light and foamy enough. Now in here we've got the flour, baking powder, and salt. So we're just gonna make sure those are mixed together pretty good. And then we are going to add half of it to the wet ingredients. That's about half. Now we need to mix slowly, and after we mix this, we'll add the milk. There's the milk, still mixing. And when it says mixing slowly, it probably means with the little speed blender. Twilight Sparkle and Pinkie Pie made together. But I'm just going to use a spoon so I can mix at a normal speed for a baby dragon. And then we're going to add the rest of the dry mix. And finish that. And the recipe says don't overmix the batter, so just make sure you've gotten all the flour. There's no dry spots left. And I want this jewel cake to be really cool, so I'm going to put some green food coloring. That'll make the batter cool green. Now we're going to put some batter into the muffin tin, which you can do with the recipe is for normal size cupcakes, but we are going to make mini cupcakes. And I'm not really sure how much this cake batter is going to rise when it bakes, so I'm just filling these up about halfway for each of them. Well, no, that's more than halfway. That's about 3/4, maybe more-ish. Alright, so they're all kind of slightly different levels, and here's hoping none of them overflow. Okay, so your oven or dragon fire or whatever you're going to use to bake these should be at around 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and since the directions are for full-size muffins, they say bake 20 to 25 minutes. Since these are mini cupcakes, we are going to bake it for starting at 10 minutes and see where it goes from there. Okay, while we're waiting on the cake batter to bake, let's start on the icing. So here is the cream cheese and butter, and they've been left out for a little while so they'd be a bit softer, room temperature. So we blended them together until they're creamy. Now we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. Okay. Now we're going to add the confectioner sugar. The recipe wants us to add 2 cups, but we're just going to add a little at a time. Make sure you remember how much you add. You do not want it to become that sweet, except for maybe Pinkie Pie will eat it. So just add a little at a time. You don't want it to poof all over you, but remember how much you've added and mix it in. Okay, while I was mixing, the cupcakes got finished, so as you can see, some of them that I filled up slightly less are doing pretty good, but some of them overflowed a little bit, but that's fine. So to make sure they're done, if you don't have a toothpick to stick in the middle, you can take a sharp knife and just poke them right in the middle. These are clearly not done because the batter is still very sticky, so we're going to put them in for maybe another 4 minutes. And now that those are back in the oven, we can finish up with the icing. Okay, so this is nice thick cream cheese frosting, which is good for my purposes. If you want frosting that's a little bit thinner, you can add a tiny bit of milk at a time, like maybe a spoonful at a time, and then mix and then see how it goes for you. And I want this to be a nice thickness like this so that the gems will stay on it, and these are the gems that I'm going to be using. They're beautiful. They're a bit tiny, but that's why I'm making mini cupcakes with them so that their tiny size will fit nicely on the cupcakes. But I also wanted my frosting to be colorful like the batter, so I put a little red and blue to make it purple. Pretty light purple right now, but I think that's good so that it doesn't clash with the colors of the gems too much. Okay, the cupcakes are out again after the 4 minutes, so always try and test the bigger ones, thicker ones, and that came out clean, so the cupcakes are done. We're gonna wait for the cupcakes to cool and then take them out of the pan. And after a little while, we make sure they're room temperature, and then we can put the icing on, because if we put on the frosting when they're still warm, it could get melty and spread all over, and then the gems won't stick on top, and that takes away the whole fun of it. Alright, now that these little cupcakes have cooled off some, we can start putting the frosting on. And just be careful not to overdo it, unless you want to overdo it. Like I said, Pinkie Pie will make these very differently than, say, Applejack would. Now, the best part, decorating! So we're gonna put some of these, and you can either do one color per cupcake, or maybe a few different ones, just to give it a little bit of extra there. And continue until you've done all the cupcakes with as many jewels as you'd like. And just try not to eat the jewels before you've decorated the cupcakes. And there's the first batch of decorated mini jewel cupcakes. And there you have it, beautiful mini jewel cupcakes. Try not to eat all of them, maybe share a few with your friends, or, you know, give them the plain ones and keep the jewels for yourself. But no matter what, just enjoy the beautiful cupcakes you've created today and all the jewels on them. And you can of course make them any color you want, but I kind of like this green and purple colors with these and all my beautiful rainbow jewels. Enjoy! Spike is great, making a jewel cake. Been saving up my gems so fine for a cake that is divine.